Okay, Paul here, and next we have on the bench is this Slant front GE radio multi-grain case. Beautiful case. Push button. You see the case is just beautiful. And it's got a little bit of wear, some surface grain cracks there, but you see. And a few little dings that crack up on the top there in the corner. And I like to document all these things as best I can. And it's got some scuff marks there, some kind of fill mark. That's what I can see so far. On this side, we have the power switch and volume control. Okay, some of the paper is missing, as you can see. This would be the volume register, and it's not lining up with the indicator. We got 17 and 18 up here, but that may be just the way it is. I may not have ever done that because it wouldn't go above 1640, but it needs to come down a little probably. And then, there's countdown 11, 10, 9, 8, and then 7, 6, and 5 are gone. Off is here. Now, the off seems to be okay, but there's a little bit of play before it switches on. It's on there. And it's off way up there. So that needs to be adjusted probably. On this side we have the tuning, which you see is lower than 540 at this point. And 550, 60, 70, and of course the paper is worn out and faded and you can't read it here. But basically it goes up to 1600. It's got nice brass plates around those controls, and the speaker grill cloth's in great shape. Push button. This button don't like to stay in. This one don't like to stay in. You gotta push them hard or they just pop out. See? That one was doing that. It's staying in now. So they need to be cleaned and oiled. This one I assume is the power button, but it's stuck in. It won't come out at all. So we have to figure out what to do. Well, no, that's not the power button because that may be AM sideband, and this may not have sideband, so I mean shortwave, and this may not have shortwave, so that may be just permanently mounted for broadcast. In the back, we have the tube section, and you see it's got 5 tubes. It's 2 IF transformers, so it's a true All-American 5. And has the owner said that it has a hum and that he thought there was a loose wire. Well, it's the antenna wire here. But it does have this center tap or tap wire here that says B out, that's folded up. I don't think that's disconnected or cut off from anything. I think that might be used for some kind of external hookup, but I'm not sure. I haven't pulled a schematic on this yet. But actually, this is a 6-tube radio. It's got a tube here, so it'd be like an All-American 6. Gang tuning condenser capacitor in there, and it's got a wax cap here on the top, and no back, so no antenna coil, just an antenna lead to hook up to a remote antenna. And if we tilt it up, let me turn it around. Somebody had changed the line cord because that's a polarized new line cord that obviously doesn't go with this unit. So this means somebody's been working on it. And here's the bottom of the case. And it says that it's a General Electric GE Super Heterodyne radio model GD60. So I haven't pulled up the schematic on that. But you can see the sheer number of patents on this thing. Just unbelievable amount of patent numbers for different components. It's got US patent numbers and then some other patent numbers from some other companies for educational. And there's the tube lineup. It's a looks like a 6Q7, 6Q7, 6K7, 6A7. So those are 6-volt tubes. It's got a 49A rectifier, 25L6, and a 25Z5. Actually, that's not the rectifier. The 25Z5 is the rectifier, and that's probably the output amplifier there. Sorry about moving the camera. And then anyway, that's the tube lineup there. So I have to pull a schematic on this and see what it looks like. It's rated at 50 watts. The intermediate frequency is 455 kilocycles, or kilohertz in our terminology. And that's the radio. It's strange it doesn't show you the buttons or what they are, but that should be on the schematic. So I'll pull that up and we'll see what we find. Has just one cabinet bolt in it. So whoever worked on it just replaced one cabinet bolt. But that's the beginning. So you see what we got, and you know as much as I do. And I really like that slanted front design. The camera really doesn't give you the best view of that, but look at that. That's just beautiful. Anyway, we'll get working on it. We'll take it out of the chassis and we'll see what's going on with it. It's got some loose stuff there. And we'll go from there. Okay, I'm about to take this radio out of its case and see what we can find out. And we've already looked at preliminary the outside, and you see where the case is put together, and it's in pretty good shape. And we looked at the dials, and now we're gonna take the screws out the bottom and slide the case out. It's only got one screw in the bottom anyway. So we're going to take that out, and then I'll put the camera fixed so we can look at it. Okay, I got the case off, and here's the inside of it. You can see that somebody's done some work there with the cardboard, and here's the chassis. Okay, and here's the radio, and speaker's in good shape on this one, so we're going to keep it that way and put something over it first and foremost. Fits fine. I picked up these containers at the thrift store, and they come in really handy. These here. I picked up a whole bunch of those for like, I don't know, $1 a piece. They're Sherman-Williams paint containers. But the covers fit perfectly for these speakers, to protect the speakers. Because most of these radios have a 5-inch speaker, and this cover just fits right over that. So I just tape it on there and push it on the metal on the back of the speaker, and that. And that keeps the speaker protected when we're flipping it around and stuff. Okay, first thing we want to look at is why this case is up here. We'll make sure that these speakers, these tubes are set fine. Yeah, this one's fine. That can is sure up in the air. Okay, and this tube here is fine. They all seem in the case really well. And okay, we got a little loop there. I guess that's part of the field coil that's not being used. That's awfully loose. Oh, I see, it just crimps on. Yeah, that's kind of loose there. And the customer said that there's a loud hum, there's a hum and no stations. Well, right now I'm not getting a hum, but I've got it on my current limiting resistor tube, current limiting tube, so we're not getting a hum. And everything looks okay. There's our tuner and our on and off and volume control. And let's have a look at the bottom. And somebody has changed the capacitors in here. I think I can gently stand that up. Let me get the cord through there. Somebody's been in here and changed the filter capacitors, which should have got rid of the hum. They got them just sticking up in the air there. We'll assume they got that right. I don't know. What do they got in there? They've got... Turn it around a little more. They got... What's the rating on these things? Oh, there it is. 33 microfarad at 160 volts. And this one, wow, I don't like the way they did that. Same thing, 233 microfarads at 160 volts, and they got the wires just really close to each other, and that's just really not good, right close to the chassis and everything else. We got a wire tie here, a crimp thing on the power cord. That's weird too, look at that, and the wire's exposed on top of it all. Well, it seems to be crimped okay, but as far as making connection, not that that's any good. That'll definitely be changed. We've got some wax capacitors underneath this set of potentiometers, which controls the preset radio stations. And I'm seeing what, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Seeing 8 capacitors. There might be 1 or 2 others that are wax. Okay. Since this has been worked on, I want to check the coils. We got a coil here. Let's go ahead and check this coil and see what we got. Okay, and I'll put this on continuity. There we go. And let's check this. Okay, it's not grounded to... Oh. What did they do? What did they do? They got 2 grounds and 1 neutral, one anode. That looks like that's backwards to me. If anything, it looks like these 2 grounds should be there and these 2 should be the anodes. Also got some flaky wire, rubber wire here. All this B plus is rubber wire. You see it's all splitting. That one's right up against the chassis. So we got a few wires that are problems. Some of them are cloth wires, some of them are rubber wires, and the rubber wires tend to give you a problem. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and check this coil. Okay, we got a couple ohms there. That seems to be fine. So the coil seems okay. Let's go ahead and look at the top again. See what we got there. We got a coil there we want to check. Got another capacitor here. This wire is losing all its insulation. See that? I don't think you can see that, but it's losing all its insulation here. All right, let's see what we can get on this coil. It's covered in wax, so it's hard to make a connection on it. Wax and dust and everything else. Not seeming to get a connection on it. That coil leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not getting nothing across that coil. I'm not getting nothing on that coil. That's not a good thing. That might be why we're not getting any channels. Let's unplug that. Try that again. Okay, there's no short in the cord. That's good. We can check these capacitors in line and see if we get anything. Looks like 58 microfarads on that one. $59 on this one. just makes me nervous there. Let's take that off. For right now, I'm just going to put some tape around that temporarily. I'll fix it, but I don't want it shorting to the chassis there while we're dealing with it. And I'm assuming, you know, that's a new, well, not new, but a replaced line cord. And I'm assuming that it's wired correctly. I'm assuming the same thing, and I'm really taking a big assumption on those capacitors. But that's an assumption I'm making because that's all I can do until I pull up the schematic and take a look. Okay, that should be safe, except that wire is flaky there. Oh, that button came out. That button wouldn't come out in the first video. Something's holding it. It might have been this thing locking it in. Let me take a look at that. No, I don't think it was that, but something freed it up. Okay, let's try it again. Plug it back in and see if we can get any kind of sound out of it. Check some voltages too, perhaps. And my current limiting light is on, but it's not staying very bright. So we're drawing 180 milliamps or 15 watts. See if we can see any tubes lighting up here. None of the tubes appear to be lighting. But we do have current going through. Not a lot. It's mostly my bulb. Yeah, I think we got some kind of short going on in here. Just drawing 19 watts. Okay. Unplug it. And try to figure out why we're not getting any signal. Okay. I guess what I'm going to do is set up the tube tester and test these tubes first. I'm a little concerned with this coil here, which is a tuning coil across the capacitor. And I'm concerned with some of these wires. Not too crazy about what happened here. That's just weird. I see some taped wires down in there. So they probably changed this output transformer at one time. Yeah, there's some wires taped in there. I don't know how well they're taped. Right down in here, you see them? Yeah, that goes to the output transformer. And that's the other side. So yeah, they replaced, that goes to the field coil on the speaker. So they replaced those wires. Let me get my tube tester set up and then we'll check these tubes. Okay, there's not many tubes in this radio I can check. This one is the 25L6 output output tube, audio output, and you see it's got a short. So I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. It is lighting up, and it's testing borderline good. Well, it's testing good. It's okay. I can't check that unless I know what the cross for it is. This is 6K7, and if we check this one, let's see what we got. J 6K7 D 8 12 and load is 30 and socket 6. Same socket with the same type tube. Well, that one doesn't test shorted, at least not right away. I don't have a grid cap on there. Let me put the grid cap on. Okay. That one tests good. So that tube's fine. Okay, the next one is a 6A8. Just a second. A8. That's D 5 8 socket 30, same socket. No, I'm sorry, 30 and then socket 6. Ooh, that one's drawing some negative current. No, well, I think we found the one that caused the problem. No, it's coming up. It's drawing negative current on the tester when it's not on. Okay, it's testing fine and it's not shorted. Grid 2 test is K6. Grid 2 is not shorted. Okay, so that one's fine. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and come right back. Okay, the next tube was the one that was in the shield. It's the audio detector, IF detector and audio preamplifier. So it's the audio driver. It's a 6Q7G. So 6Q7 has a lot of settings. There's 3 actually. First one is D, 8, 12, 30 volts, and number 6, of course. And we'll give that a second or two to warm up. Okay, checks good on that setting. No shorts. Okay, and then these next two tests are on the diode's okay scale. That's just me, and this next to this transformer that's making the needle do that. It'll register fine. D4, 8, 100, and the diode's fine on that one. D5, 8, 100, and the diode's fine on that one. So that tube's fine. The one that had a number was a K47A. That's a ballast tube. Basically, it's just a voltage drop in the filament string. It acts like a resistor and allows a certain amount of milliamps to travel through the radio. So I checked all of the tubes, and except for the rectifier. I couldn't check the rectifier. However, I know it's good for two reasons. One, I was getting a current draw through it. But I can check the filament on it. Well, I shouldn't say I know it's good. I know that the filament is good. Let me see. It's got 18 or 25. It's got a little bit of resistance. I'm not holding it on there very good. 17.8 ohms across the filament. And the inside of the tube, though it has a lot of connections, I can't really tell. That's where the wires are soldered on, yeah. I can't tell. I don't see any broken leads anywhere in there, so I'm thinking the diode's working. The only way to check that is check the output voltage, which we'll do. So, but anyway, we know the tubes that I can check are good. Okay, I took the push button controls out of the unit so I could get to the capacitors underneath, and I thought you might like to see them. There's 3 back there, 3 here, there's 1, 2, 3 here, and 1 on the top. I think that's it. That's all I can see. So I'm about to replace them. But you notice a lot of the wires are cracked. They're rubber wire damage. See, all the way down they're split. That happened with those old antique rubber wires. Rubber does that, and the less I move them, the better. So I don't know. I might just hit the ones that really need it. But I'm about to change this big capacitor and find out what it is. According to schematic, it should be a 0.25, but also according to schematic, where it goes on one side is not a cathode. So I don't know, but it's a cathode bypass, obviously, because it does connect to a cathode. So I'm going to work on that, check the resistance on these dog bone resistors and see what we got. I might do that on camera, I don't know, but I want to get a recap so I can get around in there a lot easier. But I thought you'd like to see the bottom of the chassis, and there it is. So, I'll be back. Okay, this is Paul. I got this radio recapped, but it's got some other issues. When I feed a signal, I'm getting a signal through there. It was almost dead earlier, but I've been playing with it and I got it to respond a little better. And so that's fine. But when I go to the antenna, I'm getting nothing. And when I turn this, I'm getting, oh, there's a little bit there. But nothing. It's like this section here is dead. And if I take my outside antenna, and if I disconnect the signal generator, this is the heart of the signal generator here. So I just set it over there, it doesn't matter. If I touch this, my outside antenna, I can hear the signal generator. It's actually picking it up through this wire, I guess, and feeding it into the oscillator. But when I put it on the antenna lead, nothing. However, a while ago I was playing with this here, and I was getting some signal. I tried switching, see? Now, hear it? Now I'm getting a signal. Not very good. Let me shut my signal generator off. Okay, now I'm not getting nothing from that. If I connect here, I'm getting something. I have a feeling there's something wrong with this tube or the cap on it. And it could be that wire. Because when I take the antenna off, I get nothing. Let's see, let's put the antenna on this side. Yeah, we're getting the signal now. I wasn't getting nothing earlier. There it goes, it's coming to life. That's so weird. And if I go here, I get nothing. So the antenna part of the coil here is not working, which I thought so when I was playing with the coil earlier. Hear that? The old capacitor was doing the same thing, and I took the old capacitor out and put a new one in. I figured, well, maybe it's leaking DC, but it's doing the same thing. So it's something in this coil it's making an intermittent connection. That ain't the best connection there either, but it's started. That was the first thing I did, is I checked the coils, and when I got to this one, I got a reading on half of the coil, but not the other half of the coil. It's like an intermittent connection there. Of course, I can't hold it. So I'm not getting nothing through the antenna circuit. When I come across there, basically Basically, I'm skipping the coil and going right into the mixer. It's the only station I'm getting. And look at that, it's getting harmonic distortion from it there. There's something going on here. That wire goes through and is soldered here. Okay, this wire goes down and that's the antenna wire coming in, and it jumps across here. And this part of the coil, it's a lot of insulation off this wire, but it doesn't, it goes to another coil, it goes to a trimmer coil, so it's not touching anything. Actually, let me shut this down, and what I'm going to do is pull this tube out, this ballast tube, it's hot now, and take a look at that coil there and see if there's an issue. I didn't measure that one because it was behind the speaker and I just didn't see it. Now it's a trimmer coil. It might be that I can trim that and get it to come up. There's two here as well. And this, I mean, I got to adjust this, but I'm not going to deal with that until I get the radio playing. That tube is really hot because I've had it on a while, so I'm going to let it cool off and then try that. Okay, I got the ballast tube out, and this wire goes to this coil here, this trimmer coil, and it really doesn't matter that it's losing its insulation because there's nothing for it to touch. I mean, I know I need to clean in here a lot. I'm going to try it again. A lot of junk on the bottom of that tube. But I know that's working. Let me go ahead and just wipe it off a little bit before I put it back in there. I mean, I haven't started doing any cleaning. This all needs to be blown out. But, you know, I'm going to get it working first, basically. Let's see, where's the numbers on this one? They're on the tube itself, I believe. Yeah, this is a ballast tube K49A. We'll take some of this off the base here. All this is a voltage limiter for the pilot lights. It's the original GE ballast. Alright. I don't know. I don't think that thing's isolated. No, it looks like it's sitting right on the chassis. A lot of them are isolated, but that one don't seem to be. You gotta be careful of those wires. Don't want nothing messing up down under there. I got 4 jumper cables going in where this goes. And they're right next to those 2 goofy capacitors that are sticking up, bouncing around. I gotta replace those electrolytics. But they can wait. They're fine, they're working. Okay, let's try it again. So now I got this. It's almost like a cold solder joint. Right? loose wire in it. Okay, there's nothing there. Let's try a few different places on this. Nothing there. Okay, it's obviously needs some trimming on the capacity. Let's see if we can get to that. Let's see if that helps us. Now, this coil's still got a problem. Hear it when I move it? Probably me being an antenna. Ah, found a broken wire right there on the coil. Now to figure out where that wire is supposed to go. Let's see. That's got to be done delicately. Yeah, that ain't going there. Not going there. That sounded interesting. Uh-huh. And there's another part of the coil down there. Yeah, I was getting something. That definitely is part of the problem. I just don't know where that coil goes. Maybe I can find the other side of it. Let's see. I'm going to shut this off while I troubleshoot this some more.